Hi, I'm Chad Bruckner, president of Intercounty Investigations and Solutions. We're a firm in Pennsylvania serving Pennsylvania municipalities with heart. Our mission, and we really are passionate about this, is helping every single municipality, every single person, every single team member in every single municipality be their best versions. How do we do this? Properly background screening them, having awesome leadership and culture. And we're having all these different modalities together. Our municipalities are going to be rock stars so we can do the number one most important thing, serve the community and our citizens, fellow citizens. So on social media, I've been hearing a lot in police departments. A lot of chiefs are going on social media talking about culture. And I love it. I think it's great. I think to watch even executives go back and forth, not really understanding what culture is, I think is phenomenal. So we're going to dive into it. These are my top 5 culture killers, or top 5 things that are happening in a lot of police departments. I can relate to these. Police officers for the last 2 years have reached out to me since I have left the job and communicating these same things. We have a problem, and I'm going to bust my butt every day here in Intercounty, our firm, to bust our butt every day to change this for the next generation. I don't care about now. We're probably not going to see these results right now, but it's the next generation, and I care a lot and I want to help. So these are culture things, and I think when we don't understand culture, then we don't understand the problem. Then we don't have solutions to fix it. So I want to give you the culture. The top 5 things are culture. All right, unmeritorious promotions. This is happening in a lot of agencies. I don't think we ever really apply the cause and effect. So today you're going to get the cause and effect, and I hope you're ready for this because I'm excited about it. Unmeritorious promotions. What does that look like? What does that mean? When we don't promote the best, most qualified people, that creates huge morale gaps. Huge. When we systemically are known for doing this generationally in our agency, it's horrible. It's a place where people don't feel inspired. It's a place where people don't feel like I have a shot. Because your high achievers realize they're not even operating in the same playing field. There's no fair rules. It's a lot of favoritism and nepotism, and we're going to get into why these things are happening. So let's talk about how unmeritorious promotions happen. And from my experience, and this is talking to hundreds of police officers or police departments in the last 2 years, and really digging in and asking a lot of curiosity questions. There is a systemic problem in law enforcement of developing leaders. Critical problem. And I think that is the main reason we're here. Generationally, the chiefs in the 50s were not coaching and mentoring the chiefs in the 60s and 70s. And this continued to get passed down. We have a lot of chiefs now who are really squared away at their job, but they are scared. They're afraid. They have many insecurities. They weren't developed. They weren't trained. They weren't prepared. So what happens is they need to surround themselves with people they feel safe with, they trust. They might not be the most qualified. They probably aren't, actually. The reason they pick them is because they make them feel safe. They probably don't challenge their perceptions. That's happening in a lot of agencies. I'm sure you can relate to that. You have a command staff, you're like, man, a lot of cops use the word humps. All the humps keep getting promoted and the rock stars don't. It's a culture issue for sure. You have a low culture, very poor culture there. Can it be fixed? Absolutely it can be fixed. It's going to take leadership to say, you know what, I don't have all the answers. I need outside help. Please come help. Please come help. What's going to happen is when you do that for your officers, they're going to say, whoa, it's not about him or her. It's about us. Oh, I feel appreciated. You do that consistently and persistently, and you're going to change your culture. Number 2, immoral behavior. I don't know where or when in law enforcement we have become conditioned to accept immoral behavior. Again, I think this is a lot of issues that are happening on the street. This starts with us. We have this expectation. We want the community to love us, support us, get behind us, rally behind us. We are not rallying behind ourselves. Why would anybody come love us, support us blindly when we don't love ourselves? We don't take care of ourselves. We treat each other like crap. And you want the community to blindly love us. It just doesn't make logical sense. So immoral behavior does. It just erodes all trust inside our agencies, which makes us distrusting internally and projects a very distrusting disposition. If you ever had energy or interaction with somebody who just had a very positive energy, you remember that, right? A lot of law enforcement, we have just become conditioned culturally to be very negative, cynical, engage in very unhealthy coping mechanisms. All these negative things that we are going onto the street, we are not projecting our best versions of ourselves. And then we expect everyone to love us and support us and not fight us and not want to kill us or be obedient to us. We are not obedient to ourselves. We need to lead ourselves first. How do we do that? We get rid of all moral behavior. And if we find immoral behavior, because we're human beings, I'm not acting like we all have it figured out. I make mistakes. We need to root it out immediately. Immediately. Officers that are both married in the same agency having an extramarital affair, and it's allowed. It's permissible. Nobody talks about it. It's the elephant in the room, that the water cooler conversation, but publicly we don't acknowledge. Do you understand what that does for morale? Do you understand that most of your officers are really highly moral? Most of them. They're highly moral. They love their spouse. They're committed to their family. They're committed to their community. When they come in every day and see that that's thrown in their face, do you think they're inspired? Or do you think they're just gritting their teeth and they're trying to get through the day? All right? Inequitable treatment. You have to treat everyone the same. You have to treat everyone the same. Rock stars too, they want to be treated like everybody else because they want to rise to their talents. They don't want anyone to hold their hand. What we've done is we've held the hands of the undeserved. And we make those that are deserving have to fight and scratch to even hopefully get to where the other people that are undeserving are. Again, you take one of these things individually, it's not a big deal, but when you layer them together, you can see there's a problem. You have to treat everyone the same because, again, you're going to have rock stars in your agencies that want to see that. They want to know that they're, and this is most of your officers, they want to know that we're operating in a fair world, a world where every one of us have the same rules and the same MO, and we can rise or fall based on what we do. That is not happening in most agencies. Lack of engagement and connection. This is probably affecting, I would say, every single police department. It's not a bad thing, but we need to really self-correct. The lack of mentoring and coaching. Our leaders are spending far more time worrying about their ambition or their career, their politicians, the people above their head, than they're spending below them. And I understand it's hard. I get it. I understand that. If you come into this worried about the people over you, you've already lost the initiative. You've already lost it. You have to be worried about the people under you. You have to be worried about the community members and your people. As a leader, you have to have that level of confidence. I am the leader. My community and my officers are the most important thing. When we don't have that level of connection, it really creates distrust. And when we don't have distrust, it creates bad culture. And a lot of that is just simple fixes, simple tweaks. Spend more time with your people. A story I heard, I had an officer reach out to me from Ohio, and this blew my mind, but it goes to our police cultures. And he tells me a story how, for the first time ever, their agency, they're getting electric vehicles. So they're really excited. I think they're pickup trucks. They're really excited. It's creating good buzz in the police department, good morale. What do you think happened when those vehicles came in? That the officers were told they're getting for patrol. The command staff took them home. Patrol never drove them. Further, they find out that the command staff is having the police department pay to have the electrician come out and install the electric, junk boxes or whatever at their residences, private residences. What do you think that did for morale? And guess what? This officer says this happens all the time. Culture. This officer says the chief, on paper, really squared away, but an absolutely ineffective leader, and morale, people are leaving, right? Think about that. We have to get out of our own ways. You can be a really great officer, police officer, but you can be a really ineffective leader, which you can get better at. And this brings me to my fifth, and this is for you, executives. I empathize with you. I have a macro view now of what's going on in this profession. And getting back to the systemic generational lack of engagement, you have some really highly qualified police executives that are running the show that were never mentored, invested in, poured into, molded properly. So they have all these bad leadership habits, and a lot of them, even though on paper they're good, and they're telling themselves, look at what I did to get here. You're right. You're squared away. But you're absolutely missing the boat in the leadership role, and that's okay. You have to be developed, and at 55, whatever you are, you can still learn new things. Absolutely, we can rewire the brain and learn new things. But the critically lack of undeveloping our leaders generationally, you have a lot of executives that just weren't trained or mentored properly, and now they're trying to figure this thing out on the go with in a highly dynamic situation. So what do? They surround themselves with people they feel safe with, they feel trusted with. They might not be the most important, because in their mind, all they need to do is they know they got there because they're a hard worker. They'll carry the load. Just surround me with some supporters, encouragers, and I'll go do the work, right? That's what's happened generationally. But it's completely 180 degrees different, and this is all the conflict you're seeing, which, by the way, is leading into our communities, and it has been for some time. So when you layer all these things together, the immoral behavior, the unmeritorious promotions, the inequitable treatment, the lack of engagement, all the selfish behavior, the critically undeveloped leaders, all these things individually probably aren't the big deal on your radar if you're strong in the other areas. But if you're not strong in all of these or most of these, you have a low culture. Your culture is poor. For many of you, it's a toxic culture. I know it's hard to hear that. It's not necessarily the vindicate or an assault on you as a police officer, but it is an assault on you as a leader. Embrace it, dig into it, say, I want to get better. You're going to have, this is going to be a critical time. You're going to have a lot of executives that are going to dig their heels in and not want to change, and that's okay. I see a lot of you that do. I see the conflict even on social media. Some chiefs kind of respectfully going at other chiefs, which I've never seen before. People want change. It's time to change. I want to help you do it. My why is I want to help fix for the next generation and make it as best as we can make it. So give us a call. Let us come in to help you.